and welcome to this Midlife Models Invitational, and the subject is crappy British leyland cars. If you've not seen MLM's YouTube channel, go over and take a look at PJ's work. He does some good work over there. And anyway, the one I've chosen is the Triumph TR7, which it should have been so much more, but anyway, the connection here is a Liverpool connection, because the TR7 was made at the Speak factory near John Lennon Airport, as it is now. And also Dinky Toys were at Binns Road, Liverpool. And here is a typical barn find TR7. They were that poor quality, you could hear them dissolving in the car park during a moist day. And there wasn't particularly, as you'd say, certain problem areas on TR7s with rust. It was everywhere. They'd rot anywhere. They were just abysmal corrosion protection and metal quality. They were really, really poor. They had to be looked after. And the car, really, it were doomed from the start, because the original intention was they were building the car to take the Rover 3.5 V8 engine, which was originally a Buick V8, but management decided, no, we'll just have 2 litres in them. And they were decent, but it weren't the car it should have been. And many enthusiasts now rebuild them, and they put the Rover 3.5 in. And the car with that engine in is outstanding. And here, all it is, it's latter dinky quality, it's not good. It was screwed together, and they'd started cheap manufacturing methods by then, the late 70s. Quality had gone down, and not only that, at that era in Britain, not long after we got Maggie Thatcher in, and she got rid of the root problem, which was trade unions. Like, trade unions made companies and workers hell, really. To be honest, in Speak, at the Triumph TR7 factory, it was meant to be a company saving model and the company's future, and as soon as they started building it, the trade unions had them out on strike because the factory smelt like cats. So at great expense, the factory was cleaned up, and the workers decided to go back because it had been cleaned up, and they were in for 10 minutes, and they came back out on strike because the floor were wet. And that was your typical life with the trade unions. They made life hell for employers and employees alike. Like, some people were going into work Monday and they'd probably be thinking, I've got to pay the bills this week, and they'd have them out on strike by Tuesday. So that was one good thing, Matt. I wouldn't say it were a double-edged sword, it were good and bad. Mainly good though, for both sides, both the company and workforce. And there I've super glued the pillars together And I'm filing off the excess glue. And looking better there. And here we're sanding. Just smoothing off a little bit. Just smoothing off a little bit. And getting some of the rough edges down. But yeah, the cars were besieged by rotting problems, unfortunately. Because the concept of the car, it was a beautiful car. And the actual trim inside, the interior were lovely. They had tartan, or as you refer to it in the US, plaid seats. And they look really nice. It was in the 80s, it was a very well appointed interior. You call it average today, I suppose. But here I'm putting silver paints on, I'm not bothering with primer. I'm trying to find out where my paint reactions are coming from. And here, I'm drilling the bumper, ready to put a pin in to build me acrylic nail powder round. But yeah, it were in for sale in the US, and really, whether they thought having a 2-litre engine in it was better for sales for them, for Spurs, after they'd sold the car, exporting Spurs for their upkeep. Because after all, if they'd have put the Rover, the Buick V8 engine in, the Buick V8 was American, so they probably wouldn't have seen any Spurs sales for the engines. But anyway, I digress. It should have had that V8 in all along. And here I'm just spraying some paint on to sort of print the wheels as it goes. It's not brilliant. These chrome paints aren't brilliant stuff, and it came off when I was reassembling it. Not too much, but it's enough so it doesn't look brilliant. But if it were better paint and it had stayed on, it'd have done a cracking job. Maybe if I'd have give it longer to dry, it'd have been better. Because the actual printing idea is fantastic. Just pushing them into the paint on a flat surface. And here I'm using a cutting disc to do the main shaping on my rear bumper extension I've put on. Well, repair piece. And it did turn out pretty well, to be honest. And there we go. Cutting the bits off, getting it to size. It's what I normally do. I'll cut off with cutting disc, etc. till I get it to size, then I'll file to get the shapes, and then sandpaper to smooth it off. And you can go down the grades of sandpaper till you get to where you want to be. But yeah, there I'm filing. And here I'm starting putting the colour on, which I decided on a yellow pearl colour, and it's Createx Pearl Yellow, to the original cars that were in Speed, there weren't a great many colour choices. From the first lineup, I think they had white, red, blue, yellow. I think they had a minty bright green. So there wasn't a huge colour chart. And the interiors were a large plaid design, or tartan as we'd call them. And there, it's getting its yellow paint. The last bit's done on it. And starting to look good. Here's a bit where I could have cut it. I always do this. There's parts where we could cut it, but I suppose everybody does it. And here we come, on to another one, where I'm doing the last bits, and another break, where it's going, oh no, here we go, we're back. And I think this, to be honest, I'm putting lacquer on. Putting lacquer over the top of the pearl coat. And yeah, the bright yellow colour was definitely a Speed colour. And here, I'm painting on the black plastic trim at the side. They even rotted under that. Here I'm painting on fuel cap, that panel right across the back. That used to rot out. You'd never think that'd rot out. The boot lid rotted out. The sides, well, you can't say. On the TR7 there wasn't a part that rotted, and bad rot as well. I saw one back in the late 80s, early 90s where I lived, that were a barn find, and there was less car than there was rust. It was just, it was held together, it was like a paper doily. It was like a lace neck curtain, there was that much rot in it. They were abysmal, bodywork wise, they were abysmal quality. And it was the same for the Stag, Toledos and all the other Triumph products at the time. Yet you bought a Triumph Herald before they were made, and they were the better car. Didn't rot, from the same factory. Go figure. I think it were better quality steel, etc. Better build quality and better preparation and painting. Who knows? All I know is the Triumph TR7 is a rust pit. As I say, I've often said it, the TR7, if it had been handled correctly, would have been a car that would have been so much more, and it would have ensured the company's fortunes. If Rover had give us better products than the BL group, they'd still be around today, because their actual designs were second to none, but the actual build quality of the BL and Rover group was atrocious. Anyway, here's our starting point. A beaten and battered up Dinky with battered bumpers, a cracked windscreen, the air pillars are snapped, there's part of the rear bumper missing. And let's have a look where we finished up in a wee while. We've had a colour change and repairs, and here we go. There we go, looks more like a TR7. The actual blue that Dinky used was an original, later life TR7 colour, but it wasn't the early model that Dinky depicted here. It was used on the later TR7 convertible models and some hard tops, but it were later life TR7s. Dinky's model is an early life, which these early life TR7s were a very limited range of flat colours. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Thanks to all my subscribers, and take care out there, and bye for now.